How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Jovani, and in today's video I wanted to show you guys something kind of interesting that happened to me. So 2 videos ago, if you guys watched that video, we actually swapped the engine on old Spagooter there. Spagooter is my 1976 C30 3+3 crew cab dually. We did the engine swap on Spagooter, and I came across an issue where I just had 0 oil pressure up at the top of the engine. Really threw me for a loop. I thought maybe I did something wrong, but as it turns out, there was definitely something wrong with the engine, and it wasn't anything I caused. Fortunately, I guess, but unfortunately, it meant that we had to pull out that engine, and that's what this video is kind of about. I didn't really film much of like the removal and stuff just because I was a little bit frustrated because it really put me behind schedule. But I did film some of the interesting things I found, so that's what this video is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to me from the past, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, boys and girls, welcome to Jovani's Not Very Fun Factory. This is the engine out of the dually there. We went ahead and just pulled it out. Just still cannot find an issue. Could not find an issue with the engine in the truck. So I've been at this for, I don't know, a while now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the camshaft because I think I might have come across something here. I wasn't really planning on recording or doing much like that, but this did kind of lead to something interesting. I do want to just kind of, maybe we'll find a solution together, you know what I mean? God, this engine smells like ass. So basically, I'm gonna remove the cam because I actually have been running some mineral spirits through as an oil substitute, basically. I had a hose hooked up to the oil pump that was just sucking it out of the can down there and just kind of flushing it through just to see if I could stumble upon anything. And kind of what we came across, I'll get you guys in the back here in a little bit. But what I came across is I went ahead and started pulling the plugs out of the back. So similar to how there's some plugs right here in the front, there's kind of the same arrangement of plugs in the back there. And what I found is, I'll put a screenshot here. This is gonna be like a really low resolution image because it's from my scope thing, you know, camera scope stick thing that you inspection camera is what it's called. But you could see that when I stick this inspection camera through that hole there, that there is definitely something blocking that hole. Now the problem is I can't really see where these holes go. I can make assumptions. You can kind of see like, maybe not so much on the front, but in the back, you can kind of see the path that the oil has to go through. I just don't know if that ends up at like a cam bearing or if that ends up somewhere completely different. So our easiest thing to remove right now is the cam, obviously. If I can't get an answer by removing the cam, then we're gonna have to pull the crank, which means we're probably might as well look at bearings and whatnot too, because there was a little bit of sludge inside the pan, but again, the top end was not getting oil, so that could have been lifter sludge. Could have been really anything. One other thing I will note is that I did find this in the pan, and I have no idea what this is. Metal, I believe it's like cast aluminum. It might have just been flashing or something from this cam. It could have been something else, like I don't know where it came from. It must have fallen down from the engine somehow, because there's no way, well, I'm glad that the pump screen couldn't pick this up. I honestly have no clue where this would have came from. It's painted black, so it doesn't look like an internal engine part. It might have just, I don't know. I have no idea. So that was interesting. I thought that was kind of weird. Who knows if it was actually in the pan from before, or maybe I dropped it into the engine at some point when I was taking it out. Who knows? That was basically the only interesting thing I saw when I pulled that pan. But right now, just removing all these rockers, I'm not even concerned about where they go. I'm so beyond over this engine that pretty much whatever happens, happens at this point. Lifters, I'm not even gonna put them in the same spots. I could care less. They're hydraulic anyway, so you don't really have to worry about that. You should care, but they're hydraulic roller lifters. They're not gonna be upset if you put them in the wrong spot or whatever. Really trying to remove this camshaft, but I think the lifters are still applying pressure. So we gotta take all the lifters out, or at least pull them up a little bit or something. Relieve all the pressure. That should be all the lifters. Pull these lifters out as they kind of come. See if I can. Ow. Yeah, things devolved pretty quickly on this. Unfortunately, like just things did not go the way I wanted to. Back to what I saw there, it kind of looks like a paper towel. I've been pulling I was able to pull some little tiny pieces out that I'll show you guys, but it does kind of resemble paper towel, which if that was my fault, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be really upset because that was just probably a simple mistake. I don't know how I would have got paper towel in there though, to be honest. I'd never really put paper towels on this engine because I didn't tear it apart, right? So maybe previous owner might have shoved a paper towel somewhere that I didn't know. The distributor was on when I bought the engine, so I don't see how. I was thinking maybe they would have shoved a paper towel down the distributor hole, got caught on the cam gear, got ground up, and then shot through a bearing. But I'm not sure. I really don't know. What I do know though is that there is definitely stuck in there. I just need to figure out where and how to access that hole so that way I can clear it out. There's a lot of like bends in this, so you can't just get like a pipe cleaner or something through there. The direction I'm talking about, there's a plug for your oil pressure sensor right here on the top back side of the engine, and we're talking about that tube that goes straight down. And from diagrams and stuff, that seems to be one of the priority areas for the oil pump to go through. So that's like one of the first areas that the oil pump is pumping through. I believe we should be able to just pull this camshaft out now. Pull up on all these lifters. There we go. Okay. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of thinking getting the camshaft out, would it be a bad idea to throw a cam in here? We're already this far, right? I mean, it'd be a shame if I damaged this cam taking it out and, you know, had to get a new one with much larger lobes and whatnot. But really, I don't want to take out a cam bearing either, so. There we are. Camshaft out. Like I said, we're this far, and I'm kind of tempted to just buy a camshaft. I don't think I'm gonna have this engine back in anytime soon, or, you know, there's no urgency to get this back right now. I would like my truck to work, but that's, you know, kind of up to like Jesus Christ at this point because everything's working against me on this one. All right, so I have visual into there. Let me get a better flashlight. So I'm thinking that last camshaft bearing must be a source of oiling for this hole that I'm talking about here. What's the best way to get the freeze plug off, you think? Oh, you know what? There is a little tiny hole there too. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. No, that's that same hole that goes. Okay. Oh wait, that is just the freeze plug. That's not a camshaft bearing, I don't think. Does the camshaft retain on anything back there? Yeah, it must, right? Yeah. Where's the last camshaft bearing? It's in there. It's in right before the freeze plug, correct? It has to be. Yeah, definitely. So there is definitely an oil passage to that last camshaft bearing, which means that I'm probably gonna have to remove that freeze plug, which kind of sucks in a sense. But I can probably do it now that the camshaft's out. I can probably just pop it out from the front, right? Try not to damage any cam bearings. Best case, I'm putting in a freeze plug. Worst case, I'm putting in all new cam bearings. I have this nice wooden stick here. This should be enough to pop out a freeze plug without damaging anything. Okay, let's see here. Oh, it'd be nice not to damage that freeze plug either. I think it's working. Boom. Okay, freeze plug's in the pan. All right, keeping that for later. Okay. That sucks. Okay, so, all right, I'm gonna flip you guys around, or go handheld. Let's see. Okay, so we're looking at that cam. So basically, that picture I showed you guys, and I'll put it on screen again here. So this plug right here, this has a clog going this way, I believe, towards that bearing. I don't know. I mean, you could see this oil passage here. Oil pressure plug passage goes straight down and then takes a curve around the main bearing back there. You know, curves around the main bearing, goes out to the oil pump. This plug though, if I put my light in there and it takes a right, there's a very sharp right, this cam bearing looks like it's got a bunch of gunk in it. Now, I'm assuming, just off of assumptions, I'm assuming if I were to pop out this cam bearing, there is probably a hole here and a hole there. So what I'm getting at is, I think I need to pop out the cam bearing very carefully, and I need to know whether these cam bearings come out from the back or the front. I would imagine probably from the back, so I could probably push it this way. But if I could pop out that cam bearing and we can clear out this passage, it might just be a block between here, the cam bearing, and this passage here. That's what I can assume, and it would make sense, right? So maybe this particular cam bearing isn't getting good oil, but the rest of them definitely were. And that's because, I don't know if you can look in there, this passage goes all the way through to the front of the engine and, you know, lubes up the other cam bearings and all that. So I think I'm onto something here. So how do I get that cam bearing out? I don't know. I do have cam bearing tools and stuff, but I don't know if I have the right ones. Do I punch it out this way and just, I won't be able to get it out, I don't think. If I punch it out this way, yeah, there's a chance I could fish it out. I'd really like to go the other way with it though. Okay, let me figure this one out and see how this cam bearing goes. Let me look at a picture maybe of a big block without cam bearings and see if there is 2 holes there, and that would make a lot more sense to me. Hey guys, real quickly, I just wanted to interrupt this video. It's been a long time coming and I'm really excited to announce I finally have some merch available. If you can't tell already, it's these hats. The cool part is I'm making these hats 100% on my own. These are not outsourced. I am pressing these hats, I'm engraving these hats. Everything having to do with these hats is 100% me. It's a really awesome opportunity for you guys to be able to support me and for me to give you guys something awesome in return. If you guys go to my website, JovaniDanteGriego.com, you will find these hats available. Right now I have this one available, which is this really cool gray and black mesh with the red, white, and blue logo. And I also have this one, which is this really cool like copper black, all black hat. As you can see, I've been using these to work on my cars and they are awesome. Once again, JovaniDanteGriego.com, and you will find them there. I really appreciate you guys. Keep an eye out for more flavors of these and some other stuff coming real soon. All right, back to the video. Okay, so I think I've reached a certain level of desperation here on this project. And by that, I need to remove this cam bearing, right? I need a way to remove this cam bearing. I can't get the cam bearing tools in there because the crankshaft's still in there, yada, 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 etc., etc. What I'm thinking, I think if I knock the cam bearing in this way, I'll be able to fish it out. If I can't fish it out, then obviously I'm in a whole nother world of hurt and I'm gonna be removing the crank and everything anyway. But worst case scenario here is, my thought is, if I can get this cam bearing knocked out without damaging it, perfect. If I do damage it, I can probably knock back in a new cam bearing from this side. So that's my plan. One thing I'm noticing here though is that this cam bearing in particular does not have any holes. Oh yeah, it does. It does have an oiling hole. Okay, so never mind. But yeah, so this is this is my thought here. If this doesn't work, I'll probably have to, like I said, go ahead and remove. Oh yeah, and that bearing is already damaged, so we're past the point of no return. So time to just go balls to the wall here. I'm using a round blunt end chisel tip and it's not doing anything. Okay, next means of taking this out. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do this, but this cam bearing is now damaged, so we're definitely gonna be buying cam bearings. Now if I can install it without damaging it, that would be amazing, but I don't know if I will. The trick here, I don't think I'll be able to remove it like this because you need like to press the whole surface. So what else can I do? I'm gonna look around, see what else I can do. All right, well this is not working out. Our engine plate is in the way. I am just like running out of options here. I guess I could get the hoist and lift the engine up and probably be able to tap this out fairly quickly. Just trying to think of some unconventional, we'll call it, method of getting this out. I have the proper camshaft tool, like I said, you won't be able to pass that thing through. I mean, at this point, I'm wondering if I should just take the crankshaft out. That would give us, you know, all the access we need, basically. I mean, we still have pistons and rods in there, but I think I could work around those, possibly. I don't want to tear this thing down more than I have to. Like I said, maybe I'll probably end up needing to take it out in order to put that cam bearing in. So I don't know if I'm saving myself time or just putting it off till later. I think what I am going to do though, I'm going to grab a box and I'm just going to throw all these lifters and stuff in there. Oh, look at this. I think LS lifters are the same size. Let's see. Yep. Cool. All right, well I'm gonna get this engine flipped over and I think we're just gonna take out the crank. Alright guys, so I was able to get that cam bearing out. As you can see, we went ahead and removed the whole crank and all that bunch of crap. But if we look in there, suspicions were correct. I don't know how well you guys can see, but there is definitely chunks of stuff right there. So that entire cam bearing was clogged, which means that that cam bearing wasn't receiving pressure, which probably means our main bearing was not receiving a ton of pressure. I mean, the truck had 80 pounds of pressure, 60 pounds of pressure, but that could be because it's basically bypassing that and circulating around other means. So at this point, I'm gonna have to clean out that passage and then basically slap everything back together, unfortunately. But yeah, so that probably was our problem. All right, boys and girls, so the final result is this. This is everything I pulled out of that cam bearing. I still got to go through and kind of blow everything out and see if there's anything else in there, but this was quite a bit of paper towel in there. I don't know what oil filter material looks like, so I don't know if that could have been oil filter material. I don't know. I really don't know. But if it was me, oh well. If it wasn't me, I mean, what's the difference, right? Yeah, this stuff definitely plugged up my bearings. So I imagine now, I mean, if I were to just slap everything together again, I probably would have oil pressure again. We're gonna have to get at least a cam bearing set. I'm in this deep, so I might as well replace them all, I guess. Yeah, I'm not gonna hone the cylinders or anything like that. They all look decent. Bearings look okay. There was a little bit of scoring on some of these bearings, but I think they're gonna be okay. There was nothing I could feel with my fingertip or with my fingernails or anything. So I think we're gonna be okay to just proceed and get this thing reassembled and get this thing on the road. So that will most likely have to come in another video. I'm gonna go order some bearings, get cleaned up, and get this thing moving again, hopefully. So I'll catch you guys back in the next video when I'm slapping this thing back together and hopefully throwing it back in the truck. So really unfortunate series of events here. Couldn't have seen this coming. I know a lot of people are probably going to be screaming at me saying you should have gone through the engines more. You know, what can you do at the end of the day? We found the problem. Hopefully that was it. And we'll just keep moving from here. As always, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, facebook.com/Jovani Dante Griego, Instagram/Jovani Dante. If you guys enjoy this stuff, hit that like button. It helps me out tremendously. Also, hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along. Remember, guys, grab yourself a keychain, grab yourself a hat. I'll have those up on the website, shop.jovanidantegriego.com. Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.